जय श्री गुरु गौरांग गिरिधारी राधा वलित माधव जी की जय। राधा रमन बिहारी राधा विनोद बिहारी राधा नंद बिहारी जी की जय। गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन जी की जय। राधा दामोदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा गोकुल नंद राधा रमन जी की जय। कृष्ण बलराम महाराज की जय। नित्य पृष्ठ ओम विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद् भक्तिवेदांत नारायण गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। ओम विष्णुपाद परिव्राज कचेरी स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद् भक्ति वेदांत मधुसूदन गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। कृष्ण ओम विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद् भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। कृष्ण ओम विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र, you know that orange small duck, remember? Please. कृष्ण ओम विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद् भक्ति जीवन जनार्दन गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। कृष्ण ओम विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद् भक्ति वेदांत वामन गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। कृष्ण ओम विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद् भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी महाराज की जय। कृष्ण विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद् गुरुगण महाराज की जय। कृष्ण ओम विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद् भक्ति प्रमोद पुरी गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। कृष्ण विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद् भक्ति वैभव पुरी गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। कृष्ण विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद् भक्ति राक्षसीधर गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। कृष्ण विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद् भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। परम भागवत शिल गुरु किशोर दास जी महाराज की जय। सप्तम गोस्वामी सच्चिदानंद शिल भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। वैष्णव सर्वभौम शिल जगन्नाथ दास जी महाराज की जय। श्री रूप सनातन भक्त रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भक्त दास रघुनाथ गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय। See, Mike, remember Mike on the table must be. वैष्णव सर्वभौम शिव जगन्नाथ दास जी महाराज की जय। श्री रूप सनातन भक्त रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भक्त दास रघुनाथ गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय। स्वरूप दामोदर राय रमानंद जी श्री गौर परिषद वृंद की जय। नमाचार्य शिल हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिव श्री गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। आदिप मंडल की जय। व्रज मंडल की जय। क्षेत्र मंडल की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समग्र गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। I'll pick up that mic, sorry about that. A moment.
It's not on the technology, come. Is it around there? Maybe. Okay, never mind. Right, yeah. Okay. Sorry. I do recognize that.
So you've met before, maybe the comment.
Yeah, I had words.
Okay, I'll just put it next to you.
Wow. Still got a few.
अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जना शलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितां येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरवे गुरुचन्द्राय राधिकाय तदालय कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। पञ्चकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। आनन्दलीलमय विग्रहाय मवदीविच विसुन्दराय तस्मै महाप्रेमरसप्रदाय चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते। नित्यानंद नमस्तुभ्यं प्रेमानन्दप्रदायिने कलोकल्मनशाय शनशाय जन्मपतये नमः। अजन्मलम्बितभुजो कनकवदातो संकीर्तनाय कपितरो कमलायताक्षो विश्वम्भरो द्विजवरो जुगधर्मपालो वन्दे जगत्प्रियकरो करुणावतारो कनकजलादगात्रो नीलशोणब्जनेत्रो मृगमदवरबालो मालतीकुन्दमालो तरलतरुनवेशो नीलपीताम्बरेशो स्मरनिवृतनिकुञ्जे राधिका कृष्णचन्द्रो तवैव अस्मि न जीवमि त्वया विना दिव्यज्ञाय राधे त्वं नयमं चरणन्तिके शून्यायते महागोष्ठं गिरीन्द्रजगरायते व्याघ्रातं दयते कुन्दं जीवतुरहितास्य मे। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. First of all, my limited Dandavat pranams to lotus feet of Srila Gurudeva. Nitila Pravishtam Vishnupada Stotra Sata Shrimad Bhaktivinoda Narayan Goswami Maharaj. Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Varga, my dear Shiksha Gurus, dear Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, here in London, also those watching us online or in recording, Dandavat Pranam. So, just in a few days there will be Guru Purnima, the festival of Sri Guru, the appearance day of Vyasadev. So we're remembering Srila Gurudev today in this intimate company. Sometimes when not so many people, there's advantage. Disadvantage also, but also some advantage. So you can remember Srila Gurudev. Today and tomorrow I was thinking what to tell. I'm actually nothing to tell because I'm not a real sevak, not real servant. But anyway, there's a tendency to become an aspiring one. So I was trying to, I thought I would be trying to express something towards Srila Gurudev which cannot be really expressed, means gratitude. How can it be given? You'll be never able to repay. So I would be very eager also to hear from you today and tomorrow there in Waterford, whoever will come. So Srila Gurudev taught us Guru Seva, how to serve Sri Guru. He told us so many things about Guru Tattva, about genuine Guru Tattva. We're hearing that verse from Bhagavad Gita. Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadikshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattva darshana. Try to learn the truth by approaching Sri Guru, spiritual master. So you have to do three things when you approach: pranipat, pranipatena, pariprashna, and seva. Pranipat means offering obeisances or offering dandavats, meaning giving yourself. Pariprashna means asking proper questions. And then seva, serve. So, but the first thing is really the task for all lifetimes, not only this one. Task for all lifetimes. How to do pranipat. So pranipat means giving yourself. We're doing yagya after initiation. We're offering dandavat to Srila Gurudev every morning now and before when he was on the planet. Now we're doing to our Shiksha Gurus who are none different from him. And that is called pranipat. But if it's done without feeling, without genuine feeling, it's just gymnastics. The Gurudev also saying that. It's not bad also. You have to do. Better do than not to do. But it has to be genuine. What to do if I'm not genuine? What to do if I'm full of kapatata, duplicity? Anyway, do. Better than not to do. Do gymnastics, at least. So, what's that? Before Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam, after that verse of Shri Prahlad Maharaj, he's saying, Tipum Sarpitam Vishnu, Bhakti Chetnava Lakshana. So, before performing Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam, everybody remembers. Hearing, chanting, remembering, offering obeisances, offering prayers, etc. 9 limbs of bhakti. You have to really give yourself. So give yourself not so cheap. To give yourself means to achieve nishta, means nishtita bhajan, means very, very steady and one-pointed bhajan. But Srila Gurudev gave that task for everyone, for this lifetime. I want my disciples to become nishtita, means to achieve Guru Nishta in this lifetime. This is not cheap. This is more a small thing. But how to do before Nishta? Before Nishta, we're kanishta, means having no firm faith. Some shraddha is there. First it's lokik, first it's mundane, then it becomes paramarthik, transcendental, little by little. But if you fail, if you cannot do it once, if you cannot do much, still do. What's that? Akama sarva kama va moksha kama udarati tivrena bhakti yogina yajeta purusham param. Bhagavatam, 2nd canto says. Akama sarva kama, if you have desires, if you have no desires, akama. Sarva kama, if you have all desires, if you have desire for liberation, still yajeta purusham param, still perform bhakti. Because that's universal. But when we come to Srila Gurudev, we have to first think we're complete fools. And it is not so easy to do. People from the West especially, so proud. Oh my God, very proud. Everybody's coming, I'm the best. Oh Guru, can you please show me I'm the best? Please approve, please put your stamp that I'm the best. Gurudev, first Gurudev will stroke, yes, yes. You're so nice, you're so good, you're so amazing. Oh, you have so amazing qualities. You please come and, play and sing or whatever you can do because you're the best, right? But you come, only come and take Guru Kripa, mercy. And Guru Kripa, mercy of Guru means you have to think quite the opposite. Quite the opposite. So this is anti-materialistic path. Otherwise, spiritual materialism going on and on and on. But it's very good that you start noticing that. You start noticing that you're becoming introspective. Then Sri Guru will give you mercy. What is mercy? Chastisement, basically. It is, it is the mercy. That is the mercy. So, Tadvidi pranipatina pariprashnena. Now, the second point, pariprashna, means to ask proper questions. Ask proper questions. People come and ask improper questions. Oh, Swamiji, please help. My son, my daughter, my business, my prosperity, my, how to say, material things to develop. No, I didn't come for that. Gurudev, I have problems with my wife, with my husband. No, I didn't come for that. I came to give you some bhakti. Gurudev, but can I really marry? No, I didn't come for that. You arrange for yourself. Who are not married, don't marry. Who are married, don't divorce. Stanistita. Stay where you are. Don't try to change anything externally. Because we're thinking, we have to change something externally, then bhakti will come. The more we change, the more bhakti coming. No, not necessarily. Or maybe I have to start business. Or maybe I have to get married. I have to go to America. Hello, America. No, America, no bhakti. No, don't try to change. Don't try to change those things. You stay where you are. Stanestita. Just press on bhakti button. Like in one Photoshop photo, there's one button on the keyboard, chant. Button, delete, paste, copy. The chant button is the right button. So don't change your computer, don't install any new programs, just press that one button, chant. That's it. So Sri Guru gave us Harinam, as we sang in Jaya Jaya Sri Guru, Prema Kalpataru. Although I am so fallen, although I'm so unqualified, Sri Guru gave me the holy name. Although I've practically no qualifications, still holy name is for everyone, highest treasure. So by chanting we'll become Guru Das. So pranipad, pariprashna, yes, to ask proper questions. So what are the proper questions? We want, Western people very esoteric. They like to know things. They were studying theosophy 100 years ago. Vivekananda came to the West, and all those people like Ramacharaka and all, yes, and Madame Blavatsky and all of those things. So yes, theosophical. So they want very theosophical, very philosophical. So they want to know. But Guru also cutting that. Okay, it's cutting karma, and it's cutting jnana also. Nirvishesh jnana, cutting. On the root cutting. So don't ask questions out of your curiosity, just to achieve jnana. You will know those things. So what if you don't have the basics? Devotees sometimes ask very, very high questions.
I often remember that little incident when a devotee, completely new devotee, asked Gurudev, "Oh, Gurudev, what does the name Radharani mean? You have to only hear now and think, oh, how can I get rid of my anarthas, my undesirable things in the heart? And then all the other things will come." But also Srila Gurudev gives so much esoteric knowledge, so much about the levels of bhajan, about the levels of spiritual realization. So can we ask about that? Yes, we can. But in devotional spirit, what is devotional spirit? It means Sharanagata. You cannot really ask until you pay the price. You know, like good questions in good conferences, they cost something. Even the entrance costs. You have to pay the price. What? Pranipat. You do pranipat, then you do pariprashna. First you surrender, then you ask. If you ask without surrendering, those questions are irrelevant. And then seva. Then seva. Seva is very scientific. The service is very, very scientific. But unless you surrender, also you cannot do seva. Then you do some so-called seva, but it's all your initiative, independent. That's not accepted. It's very, very, how to say, subtle line between bhakti and karma. If you're anugatya, if you follow Sri Guru, then what you do is bhakti. Yes, first abhas, certainly, then right. But if you're not surrendered, it's not even bhakti. It's even not even abhas, actually. Can be called technically bhakti abhas, but actually limbs of karma. Prachar without achar, preaching without behavior. So, and achar, behavior, means anugatya, means follow. That's it. Very, very difficult. No? Not so easy, to be honest, to be very honest. So certainly new devotees thinking, oh, it's so easy. But then they can realize that it's so difficult. Not so easy. So I was thinking today would be more like intimate thing. Devotees will share their realizations that the mercy they received from Sri Guru. And tomorrow I would think more general. I was thinking like that, but today is anyway combined. So what else to say? It's now, I think, 11th year, isn't it? No, 10th year going in separation. 10th year is going now. Yeah, 10 now, 19. So yes, 10th years will be 10 years at the end of the year. Srila Gurudeva was teaching us separation. He was really teaching us bhajan and separation, because separation is a great driving force. From separation you get meeting. That is the principle of prema. When you achieve bhav, then you experience intense separation, first of all. Like Dhruva Maharaj, he saw the Lord once, then he was in deep separation. Same Shukadev Goswami, deep separation. So bhav means spurti. Spurti means momentary vision. You can see the Lord, you can see yourself, how you are serving in your spiritual body. But then in deep separation, you develop eagerness to serve eternally in Nitya Lila. So that is prema in meeting. But all, I think 7th, yes, yama of Bhajana Rahasya is prema and separation. And some verses corresponding to that level Gurudev gave us. For example, Gurudev gave the feelings of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami in separation. The very, very unique position of Srila Gurudev, Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, in the great constellation of Gaudiya Acharyas, his great input is that he gave the conception of Srila Rupa Goswami very, very clearly, and he gave, well, everybody gave very clearly. Srila Bhakti Rakshashidhar Goswami Maharaj gave, Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj gave, all others. But Gurudev gave in such a way that the mood of Brijbasis is just coming up at every step of Srila Gurudev's conclusions. The mood of the Brijbasis, mood of the residents of Vrindavan, so deep. I once asked our Shiksha Gurudev Pachipat Bhaktivinoda Swami Goswami Maharaj, I asked, oh, so many acharyas, they're pointing at Sri Rupa Nuga. Finally, Rupa Nuga's, Srila Rupa Goswami's conception, yes. But what is, Srila Gurudev has some special flavor. What did he give? What did he reveal? Something special is there, which is, how to say, his particular feature, his, how to say, uncomparable feature. What is that? And Maharaj said, oh, that is the mood of the Brijbasis. So much clearly given at every step. There was different times and there were different circumstances in which acharyas were preaching. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada was giving that. Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami, Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami, all the prominent acharyas, those who were not preaching in English-speaking world, including. But the times then were such that it could not be revealed. So much sahaja, so much false bhakti, so much opposition, so many unqualified people. You know. But now the devotees have heard so much, how do you say, heard so much clear conception of Sri Rupa Nugas, of conception of Srila Rupa Goswami through Srila Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, his pure followers, that the time has come, Gurudev decided the time has come for introducing the mode of Brijbasis. That's the core of teachings of Sri Rupa Nuga Gaudiya Guru, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur specifically. Srila Gurudev so much stressing his particular point of view at every step. Commentaries of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, books of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Prema Samput, Sankalpa Kalpadruma, all those. So many. Chamatkara Chandrika, his commentaries, Bhagavad Gita, Rasa Panchadhyaya, Sarartha Darshani Kashani. Guru was also quoting that. He gave, in full, he gave for Bhagavad Gita. So that's why conception of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur was just given by Srila Gurudev to us, residents of end of 20th, beginning of 21st century. So that's why that is really the core of the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the mood of the Brijbasis. And we're following that. Srila Prabhupada and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur in his Upadeshavali, in his concise teachings, I think there are 24 of them. In number 9, I think, he's saying that following the mood of Brijbasis in separation from Krishna is our real practice. That's what our practice is. So Srila Gurudev has given that. And that verse we quoted in the beginning, Shunyayata Mahagushtam Girindrak Jagarayate Yagaratundete Kundam Jivature Tasyame. He's saying that I have no longer the shelter of my sustainer of my life, Srila Rupa Goswami. You know, he's crying in separation with Sri Rupa, Sanatana. He was crying in separation with Mahaprabhu and he came to Vraj. And Sanatana Goswami saved him from suicide. He wanted to jump off Govardhan. But Sanatana Goswami said, listen, once I also wanted to finish my life by jumping on the cart of Jagannath. Yesterday was Ulta Ratha Yatra, so today is very special darshan at Lion Gate. Yes, I think yesterday was golden darshan, today is just ordinary darshan. Everybody could see Jagannath, everybody. There was not much queues, not much crowd. But anyway, Sanatana Goswami wanted to jump under the wheels of Ratha, of the Jagannath's chariot, but Mahaprabhu stopped him. You know, Mahaprabhu embraced Sanatana Goswami, although Sanatana Goswami had developed some skin disease and he had sores all over his body with pus and blood. And Mahaprabhu embraced him, and Sanatana Goswami couldn't tolerate, so he wanted to finish his life onto the wheels of Jagannath. Mahaprabhu said, don't forget, your body doesn't belong to you, it belongs to me. If it would be possible to achieve perfection by jumping under the wheels of Jagannath Ratha, then I would have done it for millions of times. So please don't do so. Sanatana Goswami was expert at settling such situations. So he embraced Raghunath Das Goswami and said, please don't do, because Mahaprabhu forbade me, so I'm telling you, don't do. It doesn't belong to you, your body doesn't. Once Gurudev was asked, how about those devotees committing suicide? Gurudev said, they haven't been devotees a single day. So it's not the method. But anyway, what to do if the state is that I cannot live anymore? That's a separation situation. So Srila Raghunath Das Goswami is saying, Shunyayate Mahagoshtam. Mahagoshtam, the great Goshta, the great abode of Krishna, has become like a desert for me. Shunya means empty. What is Vrindavan without Gurudev? So for Raghunath Das Goswami, what was Vrindavan without Sri Rupa? Just empty. Mahagoshtam, Girindra, the king of the mountains, Giriraj Govardhan. Jagaraita, like a python, long, with open mouth. So he was envisioning like this. And Kunda, Radha Kunda, Tundaite Kunda. So it became like gaping mouth of a tigress. So he was envisioning like this, ready to devour. That is the state in separation. So do we feel like this? No, not often, I always forget about Srila Gurudev. Thinking everything's cool. I'm well established. Now I'm a big sannyasi. Can control others by speaking. Can make easy money. So, we think like this. It's very sad. But real life in Guru Seva is different. You have to be like a, how to say, very, very tight string, that Guru can play you. At any moment you should be ready to produce the sound, obeying Srila Gurudev's fingers like this. So, what is real Guru Seva? Gurudev used to tell. And we'll continue after some time, but I would like really to hear you today. Srila Gurudev's direct disciples, Shiksha Diksha and Shiksha. I'm so happy Mother Jagatam came today, also, Didi. So, seniors, I want to have your blessings today. I'm really eager. I can give you a mic or anything you like I can give, but please speak. Please, yeah. No problem. I can be filming if everybody's comfortable seeing from here. Purushottam can give you. Yeah, it would be good because here the recording is next to. Can you give the mic? On your left side. Just coming to Guru Purnima modes. Opposite. If you feel okay like this, actually it's opposite side, but if you feel okay like this.
How is it supposed to? Oh.
It will be sliding down a bit, so if you change, maybe it will be more stable. Okay. Try the other side.
The other side.
Just, back like this, it will be fixed.
Like that.
Yeah, right.
Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swamini Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pachani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Vistachadishtayane Namo Vishnu Padaya Radhikaya Priyamane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayani Namane Vanchakalpa Churvyascha Kripasindu Deva Chavati Dhanam Bhavane Vaishnava Namo. I was thinking earlier how there's so, well, of course, just Prabhupada said, don't think now I've become devotee, now no more suffering. He said, as long as you have a material body and as long as you're in the material world, there will be suffering. And lately the topic of discussion is the intense bombardment of material energy, which is coming on all of us in many forms of 5G and so many things that are descending down upon us.
5, 6, 7, 8.
It just makes you wonder, wow, how is this happening? We're devotees. This shouldn't be happening to us. But we're in the middle of it as well, just like with everyone else. We're in the middle of a bombardment of demoniac energy, which the demons who are present on this planet are being used as instruments to administer to us. And as you were speaking, Maharaj, I was thinking how fortunate we are, because like I remember one time Prabhupada, he told the story of how when he was a young man and he was sitting and taking prasad and someone told him, Abai, the bombs are coming.
1944.
He was in Calcutta. He said, oh, okay, let the bombs come.
I'll finish my kachori.
I'll take my prasad, yeah. And one time in Soho Street, it was Berry Place, and the devotee said, Prabhupada, what if we start getting bombed? What if the bombs come? And he said, so chant Hare Krishna. And recently there was a discussion that devotees are going out and preaching, trying to give the holy name to others, trying to imbibe the holy name for themselves. And this 5G thing is coming. Should we become active and try to avoid it, or try to stop it, to write, sign petitions, or should we just chant? Just chant, because the chanting is so powerful, and what can we do anyway? And the discussion was such that, but we have our children and our children's children, we have to do something. So I don't know if there's any conclusion to that argument. I mean, we have to do what we have to do, but as Raghunath Das Goswami says in one of his beautiful prayers in the Mangala Charna, that Namashrestha, oh my God, Guru has given us everything, has given us the holy name, has given us the Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, all the scriptures, all the scriptures of the Vaishnavacharyas. He's given us temples, he's given us beautiful deity darshans, and he's given us seva, and he's given us association with other Vaishnavas. Oh my God, we have so much. We have been given so much. We've been given the highest treasure in this world. What we've been given is beyond anything that's been given in the universe. It's beyond what any personality in the heavenly planets has been given, and that's why they are queuing up to take birth here, so that they can have some opportunity to do bhakti, to meet a pure Vaishnava who wants only Radha Krishna Prem. It can only get it on this planet. So whatever's happening, I remember in 1976, my temple president, Ravinda Sarup Prabhu, had gone to Vrindavan and he spent some time with Srila Prabhupada. Then he came back to Philadelphia and he said, Prabhupada said that the world as we know it will not exist, and that there will be so much radiation on this planet that everyone will be living underground. And he said, and it will happen in your lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
He also said that book distribution has put off the Third World War by 10 years. That was way, way back.
10 years.
Yeah, that was probably in the late 70s he said that. But still, it's still going on. This mood, this is the mood that the Vaishnava has, is this mood of compassion to give Krishna consciousness to others. The Prabhupada often talked about Prahlad Maharaj, that when Nrsimhadev asked him, what benediction do you want? Oh, I don't want any benediction. Oh no, I want to give you a benediction, please, from my heart. Out of love, I want to give you a benediction. So Prahlad Maharaj said, oh, I only want that everyone in this universe attain pure bhakti. That was his mood. And that's the mood of a pure Vaishnava. And when we think of personalities like Srila Prabhupada and Srila Gurudeva, they don't, for themselves, don't need to come to the Madhyam platform. They're Uttama Adhikaris, they're on the highest platform of Prema Bhakti. And that means they're 24/7, every single moment they're experiencing the bliss of Radha Krishna Prem. They don't, so that, why they have to deal with us, like you said, not even Nishta in many cases, just Kanishta, trying to come to this level. But out of their great, great compassion, they've come here to give us this highest treasure. And Srila Prabhupada said in the Nectar of Devotion, he said, we are all Rupanugas. We are all in the line of Rupa Goswami. That means we are followers of Rupa Manjari. We are, that's who we are. And as you said, I forget to serve. I forget to think of Krishna. We forget who we are most of the time. And I myself identify with this body so much, and we're identifying with the body and the mind. But if we have high class association, then we can remember. That's why, we have to come here and take the nectar of Hari Katha from you, your compassionate self. Because on our own we can't do this. There's too many influences from the mind and the body and. What's that? Yeah,
from Vaishnava Thakur. Ekaki Amar nahi paye
Ekaki Amar. Yeah. Your mercy is all that I am made of. Yeah. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says. So, thank you very much for being here, Maharaj, and thank you for allowing us to have this Sangha.
I was very happy to hear from Mother Jagatam.
Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudeva Ki Jai.
Mother Manohara?
Oh, Maharaj, I have nothing to say at all.
No, please.
No, really, everybody knows that I have nothing to say in this company. Really, I'm very new to this group.
Something about you.
Yeah.
Realization of Guru Seva.
Really?
Just you have spent many years.
Many experiences, but everybody's had, I'm sure. Quite difficult to explain. I have no doubt about where I'm going.
Oh, yeah.
I have no doubt that I'm in the right place. I have doubts about myself and my abilities.
Something
I
about
get very excited about it, the whole business, about Krishna, about Radha now as well, because since I've been connected in this group, thankfully I've understood that I need to know more about Radha. I was with ISKCON. I didn't know anything about Radha. Only this morning I thought, I feel as if I have just found the temple, because my head is empty. I haven't got anything there. I feel such a new devotee. Well, not a devotee, a new person amongst devotees. I do feel very lucky, extremely lucky. There's so much that I would like to give, that I have locked in. No ability to give it. It's a bit late now, I'm quite ancient and everything's falling apart, and the mind definitely is beginning to go. It seems a shame really, because when you get to this point, you know, I had a very wild life before I came to Krishna, very wild. My experiences taught me a lot. I understand a lot about what life is on this planet, without a doubt, how bad it can get.
Mm-hmm.
And I do feel I want to give others who are going through that, but I don't have the ability. I'm beginning to waffle. I feel very grateful that I've been given this group of friends, particularly Jagatam.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Jai. Hare Krishna. Sundarananda Prabhu. A few words. Oh.
We'll go to the seniors first. I'll be at the very end.
Okay. Prabhu, what's the name? Sorry, Prabhu.
This way, left or right?
Left.
This one.
Pran Vallabha Prabhu. Okay. Yeah, no, that's good.
Well, I'm a groupie. I'm only here for the beer, as they would say, you know. I'm here for the Sangha. I'm really grateful to be in the company of devotees pretty much all the time. So I am experiencing my growth, which is really nice, because I started out like a pinhead, you know, and I'm experiencing that I'm becoming a needle, you know, and I'm seeing others who are so much further along the path than I, and so there's hope, and it's wonderful to see this. It's like watching a flower unfolding in my own life. Yeah, thanks to these great personalities that appear, Srila Gurudeva, Srila Prabhupada, Guru Varga, you know. But I don't usually talk about these things. I usually write about them and put them into stories and poetry. And the end of one of my stories, there's the story of the frog and the toad. And the frog in Australia, I wrote the story that he's in Australia and he goes walkabout and he meets his cousin toad in the outback in the pond. And his cousin toad can't understand, because this little frog lives by the ocean, where the river, the fresh water, comes to the ocean. So he lives in the river, but he sees the ocean every day. And the frog can't understand, the toad cannot understand how anything could be bigger than his pond, because all he's ever known is his pond, right? And so he expands and he says, how much bigger can it be? An inch or 2 or 3 maybe. I bet it's not as big as me, especially when I'm bloating. And he becomes bigger. And he says, is it this big? Oh, much bigger, laughed the frog. You can't understand the ocean by the dimensions of this bog. You see, frog came from the ocean. He'd seen that great beyond. This is the Guru coming, you know. So frog came from the ocean. He'd seen that great beyond. He had the best intentions, and he really loved Toad's Pond. Sorry, he had the best intentions. And he was trying to keep it cool, but every word that left his mouth made Toad feel more the fool. So Toad was getting angry now. He got himself into a row. "Please calm yourself," said Mrs. Toad. "It's dangerous, you might explode. Anger's made your eyes turn red and veins are bulging in your head." But Toad heard not a word she said. "Is it this big?" Toad shouted, expanding even fuller, sending all those in the pond darting undercover. Poor Toad was way beyond control. Caught up in the emotion, he blew himself into a ball and caused a great explosion. When Toad's anger reached its height, Toad went off like dynamite. Bang! And all around the echoes rang. And bits of Toad flew everywhere, in the trees and through the air, multicolours blue and green with specks of yellow in between, arms and legs, fingers and toes, and the roof of his mouth still attached to his nose. All of his pond was covered in slime, the perfect place to end this rhyme. So as we wind up this story, it has to be said, if Toad didn't get angry, he wouldn't be dead. He could have taken a trip to the ocean instead. You see, the truth is often hard to see without the right authority. Someone who's seen what lies beyond the limits of our tiny pond. No weights nor measures we recruit can realize the absolute. That ocean is far greater than anything we've seen. Compared to it, our little pond's no bigger than a bean. And there's no use getting angry if you fail to comprehend, for anger left unfettered meets with a sticky end. So this is the point. The point really is Guru is coming from this ocean and we're in our pond and we have seen, we know nothing. Only by the grace of the spiritual master can we get out of this. You know, that's why a complete surrender has to come, isn't it?
Yeah, brilliant.
So, okay, that's enough from me.
Brilliant.
Now back to our sponsor.
Srila Gurudeva.
Go ahead, Ram.
Yes. Ram, what's the name, Ram?
Ram Nishinga.
Ram Nishinga.
Thank you very much, Maharaj, for coming. I really appreciate it. I've seen your pictures a little bit on the internet. So yeah, Guru Purnima just coming in a few days. It's very important to remember just how, speaking for myself, how completely wretched my existence was before I came in contact with Sri Guru and the various gurus that I have been fortunate to receive their blessings. And it's literally like meeting Sri Guru in the darkness of the material nature is literally like coming from hell into a beautiful place of illumination. And that was my experience in coming in contact with Srila Prabhupada's movement. Although I missed his personal association, I just felt, I read his books when he was here on the planet, and immediately it was like waking up from a horrible nightmare into something very sublime. So we can never actually repay the Guru for what he has given. It's actually impossible, but we can only try to follow in his footsteps and try to give the mercy that we've received to others and try to take the mercy in full. By Srila Prabhupada said, by chanting nicely, then we will enchant others. So by chanting, as we've heard from our Gurudev, from our Srila Prabhupada, then somehow or another we'll become a little bit qualified to do something and help others simultaneously, for ourselves and for others. I personally saw Srila Gurudev's influence in Hawaii. I went there one time, maybe 15 years ago when Gurudev was touring.
Mm-hmm.
I went to one or two of the times. I went to one particular one, and no one there was doing any chanting, was not doing any sadhana, any practice. But when Srila Gurudev came, even those who had gone far away from the practices of bhakti came back, and they all began to chant the japa, and they all began to do service and pick up themselves from the situation that they found themselves in. So Srila Gurudev did an amazing service to his Siksha Guru Srila Prabhupada and to his Guru Bhaga generally by going around the world at a time when there were many problems in the main Krishna society, and many devotees had fallen away and had become discouraged. So he really, personally saw many of my friends who became very inspired, and we can never thank Gurudev enough for what he's done. And as I say, we just have to humbly try to supplicate ourselves, to offer our sincere obeisances and beg for all of our Guru's grace and mercy so that we can do something, be of some insignificant use, at least something, whatever they want from us, whether big or small, at least try to become an instrument in the hands of Sri Guru. Just like a paintbrush is an instrument in the hands of the artist. Guru has come to paint a beautiful picture. He's come to create a beautiful situation on this wretched planet. And we ourselves now simply have to pray to become an instrument in his hands so that we can participate in what he's trying to do, and in doing so get blessings and get qualification so that we can eventually return to the lotus feet of Shri Radha Krishna, which is obviously our ultimate aim. I am very poor in my spiritual realizations, unfortunately, so I can't really say very much, but I thank you very much for coming again, and thank you all. Hare Krishna.
Sundaram. No. Okay, you decide. Nalini.
Om Jnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Chakshuramitamina Tasma Shri Gurave Namaha. Namayo Vishnu Padaya Radhikaya Priyadini Shri Shivan Bhaktivedanta Nayak Goswami Tivani Panchakampadurvashya Vipasindhu Vyavacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So first of all, I offer my limited dhanavas unto Srila Gurudev, literally of Vishnu Vishnu Pada, Stutra Sat Shri Shivan Bhaktivedanta unto Sripad Sadhu Maharaj, and unto all of the devotees present here. I'll just disappear. Okay. So I'm not sure what to. There's a lot to say, but yeah, I don't know how to say it all. So next week is the appearance of Vyasadeva. So I'll just speak a few lines. So Vyasadeva, he extracted the essence of all of the Upanishads and Puranas. I think there were 54 altogether. Sure, 54.
Puranas.
The Brahma Sutra, the Mahabharata, the Bhagavad Gita. So after this point, he was feeling unsatisfied, and Naradji came and asked him, "Oh, why are you feeling unsatisfied?" And he said, "You know, I've included the point about moksha or karma, but I don't know why I'm feeling dissatisfied." And Naradji instructs him, and he reads through everything and then says, "You haven't included the points about Krishna and his human pastimes. You haven't included the point about when Mother Yashoda binds Krishna, and how Krishna is indebted to the gopis. You must include all of these points." So there's this verse, na parayaham niravaja samudram. So Krishna is saying that he's saying to the gopis that he is indebted. So then after this point, Vyasadeva includes everything, and then the Srimad Bhagavatam was formed. And in the Srimad Bhagavatam, everything is there, everything. And then he gave this knowledge to Srila Gurudeva Goswami. So actually, Srila Vyasadeva is actually, he compiled this. So this, all of this, like nectar, this knowledge has been transferred to all of our Guru Varga, and it is pure, completely, untouched, and our, sorry, this is falling down.
Bend it.
Put it behind. Put it
behind.
Yeah, goes behind. This part you have here. That's true. That's it.
Okay.
Well done. Yeah.
Okay. Right. So I was saying that yeah. So our so all of this knowledge is so pure, this nectar, that we are so fortunate to be in this line, because actually it's like a needle in a haystack. There's so many souls, wandering here and there, got so many things to do, got this to do, got that to do, so many desires, so many things that sometimes I wonder how it's possible that we have come in this line. When there's so much variation, there's so much choice, there's so much out there. This world has so much, and without, I feel very fortunate to have found Srila Gurudev, because actually, yeah, my point again, that there is so much to choose from, and I don't know how I kind of came here, but I did somehow, because it's like Srila Gurudev he has given everything. He's given everything to us, and sometimes there is this. Sometimes I repent, because even if I've met Srila Gurudev, even if I have maybe done some sort of service, I feel it is not enough, because I only saw him on maybe 3 or 4 occasions. But actually, sometimes we may take Gurudev for granted also, because if he was on this planet physically, then maybe maybe there wouldn't be any separation. But now, Gurudev is not physically present. There is a lot that I repent for, and also there is so much, so many kind of things that I'm understanding more than I did before. So actually, in that sense, Srila Gurudev is still present. Where's that? Do you have the words where I'm closer to you than the air that you breathe? Yeah. And it is certainly true. Gurudev is coming in people's dreams, even maybe people that are not even devotees but have some sort of desire to enter into the bhakti path. But understanding that it is so important to be under the guidance of a Rasik Vaishnava, and I feel so lucky to have been under the guidance of Anuttama Bhagavat, like, and because this human form of life is so rare. Krishna Boli se jiva anadi bahimuk ataiva maya tarade samsara. So when the entity turns away from Krishna, and he is attracted to the external form of Krishna, which is Maya, then he has to undergo all of the miseries in this material world. So understanding that we're in the fire, Shri Guru helps us to come out of this fire. So that's all to understand in his lifetime, is to do your bhajan under guidance, and cry and weep for Krishna's mercy and for Guru's mercy, that we can actually achieve this spontaneous devotion. We at some point we are doing Vaidhi Bhakti, but we want spontaneous devotion. So there is the verse Bhakti Yog Dhana Bhakti Krishna Nam Smarana Kandana. So we must weep. What is the wealth? The wealth is bhakti. That's all I want to say. So I'll leave it there.
Oh, merciful host, Sundarananda Prabhu.
I'm just going to hold it actually.
Hold it.
It's easier to do.
If you hold, then no guarantee about the right angle.
Okay, I'll try and keep my hand fairly steady.
Okay, good. Keep it close.
So,
Close.
right, so it's actually been quite a privilege to actually sit here and hear others first. And I was trying to just compose and put things together. First of all, I'd like to say, Sadhu Maharaj, Shripad Sadhu Maharaj, thank you very much for coming and hosting here in London. It's an honor actually to have presence of the Vaishnavas and also the representatives of our gurus to inspire us to not dry up and to continue our journey, spiritual journey. There's so much going on in my mind at the moment, but I haven't put anything in any particular order. So I'm going to say a few things, and I hope it doesn't sound too muddled. I always felt that I was a lost soul from a kid, from a young age. I had terrible depression actually when I was really small, and I couldn't understand why I was suffering at that sort of condition at that age. Basically, why and what have I done wrong at a young age to experience these problems? And it lessened as I got older, but I didn't realize that the only really soothing remedy for this would be actually to actually come under the guidance of someone who's, and this condition is getting better. It's not cleared up completely yet, but the only solution was actually to take some shelter of someone who cared, and more than the parents, more than we're taught as children that parents are the most important guides for us. But more than that, I feel, and I'm glad my parents aren't here right now. Maybe my father in spirit, but I'm sure he'd be very happy, in actual fact, that Gurudev is now become my father. The real father that is the most important thing, most important life force for me to actually follow the instructions that he has given. There have been many other gurus in the past that I've come across, and I was just trying to put a picture together, in actual fact, that the qualities of gurus are so varied, and it kind of went like there were all stones. There's precious stones, there's semi-precious stones, and there's supremely precious stones. And our Gurudev, most of us here today, our Gurudev is actually the supremely precious stone, who is actually a reflection of Lord Krishna. And I just want to, because I've seen slight miracles. I was into kind of fanciful, magical type of gurus before, and I felt if they could manifest things out of air, that they would be the ones that be the right one for me to follow. But actually, Gurudev, and I had that aspect when I met Gurudev for the first time, and I said into my mind, could he do this for me? And I had, and he actually did do it. So it really convinced me that there and then, within a day, Gurudev showed his mercy, its mercy basically. After one day, I had such a problem with, at the time I was seeing Gurudev, I was in such a low period of my life, with material life, that it all had collapsed. And I was almost on the verge of not being able to recover from a situation that I was in. And after being advised by one of the devotees, thank God she advised me well. And I actually spoke to Gurudev directly, and as honestly as possible, because I felt that was really an important aspect, is to be honest with where you're from. I'm not completely honest. I'm saying in that moment I felt I was honest. And he told me one thing, and the next day, that craving which I used to have for 20, 25 years had just completely disappeared. I've heard of other devotees who've experienced it themselves, and I've heard other devotees who managed to do it themselves on their own. But for me, it meant a lot. And not only that, the glories of Gurudev's are impossible to explain, because he's done such a he leaves such an impression on the heart that you could never forget. You could never forget. I can still remember when I was about 12 years old, and I heard in Camden Town, actually, I was still living here in those days. I heard the Hare Krishna devotees from ISKCON doing Nam Sankirtan on the High Street in Camden High Street. And it left a really massive impression, because as a typical so-called Indian that goes to temples, I just thought this was very unusual. These, they're all Western persons chanting the holy name, and it really, I didn't really know what it was, but it's funny how it leaves a mark in your heart. And it was about 20 to 30, actually 30 years later, that I had more contact. And I used to take my son to ISKCON, and I didn't feel the mood was correct for me there at that time. But I'm glad that the Gaudiya Math, representatives were preaching as well, and that actually encouraged me to come to a few programs. And I'm glad, I swear, I'm really, really glad that I didn't allow the mind to overcome, as it normally it's overpowering, to take me in a different direction. Thank God I listened that one time. I'm just praying, Gurudev, and I know he's here all the time. He's in everyone's heart. So can you imagine the force is so much more stronger when the company of devotees is what is it, quadrupled. On my own is not. I'm feeling it right now, and I felt it yesterday. But and many times before that, your feelings and your attraction to bhakti and devotion is always increased when you let go of yourself and your own manifestations of mind and thought and all of the things that are going in your own individual worlds. When they're released, they actually can be released when you talk. And I don't talk very much, by the way, but when I talk, I can feel, I can connect to my feelings, and that's half the problem actually, is not being able to connect to feelings, because when you don't connect to your feelings, you don't understand enough. But when you're in the presence of those that are more advanced, and I actually am looking at all of you senior devotees here, you can actually feel that this journey is worth keeping course on. It really is worth keeping course, and that's why it is really important to be with those that are much more advanced, because they give you the encouragement and inspire you to continue. And for me, it's very important to have physical presence as well. Though I do actually feel there's that Gurudev is actually always there, guiding and correcting, and making sure that you don't make wrong decisions. But he is actually giving the highest thing, which I'm not completely ready for, and I don't know how on earth I got into this school, because it is a very, very high school, and I still feel maybe I jumped class, and that's never happened to me before. So I feel very honored that I'm in a class that I probably don't belong, but Gurudev it feels like Gurudev has accepted, and that is so important. I'm just hoping that I can please him in some way, and I've heard so many times it's impossible to repay. But if I can't do it externally, maybe one day I can do it internally. So I'm absolutely the main word that resonates for me since coming to Krishna consciousness is gratitude. Being very grateful for a lot of the small things, and I'm glad I don't have the associations I used to have before. I think I've definitely grown out of that, because this new association with the devotees, and we all have different personalities, so it's not guaranteed you're going to get on with everybody, but it's far more valuable than the people outside of devotee life. I feel. So I'm very, very honored and grateful to Gurudev and all our Guru Varga and new devotees, and especially all of the senior devotees and Marajas and Didis. Thank you.
Srila Gurudeva ki Radha Mohan Prabhu. Radha Mohan, your Gurudev to say. Put it on like this. Other side. Yeah. No, the other side.
Miranda Sia Janandana Slakaya Chaksum Tamina Tasman Sigro Vinamaha Nama Om Yamani Shishima Kisha Sikachan Lila Katanepa Sikachan Lila Katani Samadus and Rizankunam Kutam Moram Tam Tom Satam Papade Chudandina Bhakti Romanim Chas Sikachan Padaja Didika Chajana Milata Salam Saranyamna Tatam Prapade Anyabilasita Sunyam Gyan Kamadian Yawatam Anukulina Krisanu Sulanam Abdel Patama. That is something that I always remember Gurudev with, because from my past history I never came across this statement, which is clearly talking about bhakti ras. We always hear about bhakti through all different religions in the world, and everybody is talking about love of Godhead and love for God. But we normally no one wants to really want to get close to God because it's difficult to please Him. So with this example of Gurudev, how they show by example, and it's very pleasing to know that there is some pure devotee out there. We can give you the knowledge, and there's no beginning and no end to what they have said. But through the example, we gather that they have nothing to take from us. It's only going to give us this relationship that what they are preaching and what they want to give, what they hold dear to. And it's not through sahaja that they always try to tell us not to go to sahaja, because you have to go through step by step so that we can understand and realize something about the beauty of rasa ras, the bhakti ras. And there are so many steps you have to go through, and this is a learning. We have to cry. That is what they advise us, so that the mercy will flow. Because to understand Krishna Lila is not possible. To realize if he doesn't give us the mercy, and we cannot understand, and because we cannot see God directly, and Gurudev is a representative of what they came here for, to teach us so beautiful and sublime teaching that no other sampradaya can offer us. When you do a research of all what is there out in the world, whether you are in the fourth dimension, third dimension, because what they are teaching us is to go to the fourth dimension, which everything is spiritual, and be able to appreciate everything what is there. The whole atmosphere, the whole everything is favorable for bhakti if you understand and realize that everything has its reason to be existent, and nothing is outside of spiritual life and material life. If he has not created this universe for us to realize that, through his mercy, to realize the teaching of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is only happened only now that we realize that without Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, no one realized that there is a relationship going on between Radha and Krishna. That he is not in separation whatsoever. We can't feel. We talk about so many things, and yet we do not know. What is pure love? Pure love is completely. You have reason to break away from your loved ones, but this spiritual love is unbreakable. The more you try to go, yet you cannot give it up. Like I came across, like Krishna has 16,108 wives, but Radharani never give him up for some reason. The reason is there to break away from the normal life, but spiritual life is completely out of this world, and is helping me to realize that spiritual love is unconditional. Because daily life we will never be able to come across people talk about love, and it is completely so different in the spiritual world, that's why it's also this world is perverted reflection of the spiritual world. And then there comes Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, we have Madam Madhapuri, which is, the base of giving us this rasa ras. That is bhakti ras. It's just the base of that. And then he is the Gurudev of Nityananda Prabhu. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed by example. He took Ishwarapuri as his Gurudev. So through our learning of this bhakti ras, it shows us that we need guru to understand spiritual stuff. Otherwise, our logic, our scientific research is only be staying on the material world, really, without their mercy. I would like to end up here because I'm going all over the place where I say what I have to say. And one day, hopefully, that everybody give me a blessing so that I can understand better.
Srila Gurudeva ki
Jai.
Anantaji. A few words about Guru principle. Yeah, Param Gurudev.
My name is Ananta Bhaktidas. Oh my God. I never met Bhaktivedanta Madhusudan.
So Bhaktivedanta Madhusudan you have met.
Different person. And Narayan Maharaj. But I remember many years ago, when I was living in Poland in the temple, and some devotee who is still like traveling a lot around the world, he came from Germany, from the Berlin, and he told me a story that there was some small temple next to the some gardens, and there was ISKCON temple, and they wait for Narayan Maharaj to come, and they waiting, and he said that it was like some kind of magical experience, because Narayan Maharaj came with this turban, like special yogi sadhu from India, and he said, and it was like everybody was quiet, and his experience was like that. It was so special that he never met somebody like this. His influence on all this devotee. And another story, actually, from another devotee who was living sometimes in Berlin. He's like he got the double nationality, and his parents are in Berlin. And he told me that he also listened to a class from Narayan Maharaj, and after class, one German devotee who was like introduced him to Narayan Maharaj, and he said about this, my friend, oh, this is a very nice devotee who is chanting a lot. He used to chant like more than 50, 64 rounds or something. And he was like talking about this, my friend. And Narayan Maharaj stopped him and said, no, it's okay, I know. And he wants to just talk to him, like he knew who is who already. And also I knew it was after Harikesh time, and I was still in the temple, and there was like, although in ISKCON many gurus disappeared before, but when Harikesh disappeared, there was like really big shake. A lot of people go different direction, and like they lost. Some of them, they stay with devotees, but they don't know what to do. They lost like faith that anybody can help him. They didn't have any more faith in Guru, in the system. And I remember one devotee who was like a little bit, for me, like acting crazy almost. But after years, I heard that he accepted Narayan Maharaj, and his life completely changed. He started to like be very, like he get new life in bhakti. So that, like, I think that there was many devotees like that they lost the guru, and after when Narayan Maharaj appeared and started to preach in the West, they get new life. They get back their faith, and they were saved. And last things, and I think this is enough.
Srila Gurudeva ki jai. Purushottam, something about Guru principle, what you learned. Our new devotee, disciple of Pujapad Bhaktivedanta Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj. Pujapad Damodar Maharaj. Inspiring from Pujapad Madhusudan Diksha.
Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakya Chaksu Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha I just want to thank Sadhu Maharaj and all the devotees for the opportunity to be here. Completely unqualified, but like that first song by Vrindavan Das, Ashripad Damodar Maharaj, he completely unqualified, and he gave me Harinam, and I'm so grateful. My life was so different. Like everybody has said enough, and like Sundaranandan Prabhu, he said, you know, like from young I was experiencing so much stuff, and I was questioning why I was experiencing like this. But now that I've found Guru, it's like for the first time, it's like my heart feels at home, even though I'm such a rascal and constantly straying away from the path back home. But I have never ever felt so more comfortable in the space of people that I have known for such little time, and I'm just feeling so lucky and completely unqualified and just so grateful. And I just wish that I can serve my Guru with faith. Yeah, I don't have anything to say because I don't feel like I have the right to speak or any qualification at all, and I just feel so blessed and so grateful to be here. So that's it.
Gurudeva ki jai.
There's one thing, Srila Prabhupada, I know, a lot of people say, it's in this prophecy. But I heard that Srila Prabhupada said.
Is that the new way to say it?
I think it's correct. It's practically correct. I heard by the cyclic succession that Srila Prabhupada said, don't be surprised who goes, be surprised who stays.
Jai. Srila Gurudeva ki jai. Gurudeva Chandraya Radhikaya Tadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namo. I'm very thankful to all devotees who spoke today. This place is a traditional sharing place. That's why, using that faculty of the place, I decided that, it's very good to hear from everyone just on the eve of Guru Purnima, which is coming on Tuesday.
Will you be here for that?
No, I'm flying to Lithuania, then resuming Russian tour. So tomorrow will be episode 2 in Watford. So I just wanted to add something. Srila Gurudev's position is so unique. He gave all the world very directly the mood of the Brijabasis. Gurudev was so much loved by the Brijabasis. Every time on this Guru Purnima day in Mathura, there were minimum, probably, I don't know, 20,000 people coming into the temple. The temple was becoming like an airport, with ropes, making lines for people coming up with their children, with gifts, with money, with everything, receiving blessings. And it was going on and on and on from early morning to late evening. One portion of people getting prasad, another portion, floor is cleared, another portion getting, like this all day long and all day and practically up to night. Why? Like Shri Rupa and Sanatana was so dear to the Brijabasis. Rupa Goswami was known as Chota Baba, Sanatana Goswami Bada Baba, small Baba, big Baba. Rupa Goswami being very reserved and Sanatana Goswami being very open. He was coming to every single house, associating with them, giving their association. How's your family? How's your son, daughter? How's your harvest? How's your cow? So those were the subjects. So I remember Srila Gurudev at the end of my very first Kartik, 1999, when it was initiated. After Kartik, I think, first day after Kartik, we were in Mathura. Gurudev was there. He was returning to Mathura after the long Kartik, so all Brijbasis, Mathuravasis were coming to see him.
And there was a darshan, afternoon darshan. Oh, a few words about afternoon darshans. Afternoon darshans were so sweet. After the great Aishwarya of the great organization, what Srila Gurudeva was giving was so home-like, was so much of a home, you know, and he was so simple, so simple. He was just coming out at like 4:15, 4:30 from his kutir on a simple chair, maybe some simple asana, and you know, the pair of his shoes, the specific shoes, you remember, before those rubber ones, they were like ordinary walking shoes with a certain pattern, you know what I mean? Those were so, not without croc style. It's before. So before the first pattern. I mean the first pattern. So he was there, and anyone could come and ask question. Anyone. He was like loving father who was not like a king with his, you know, scepter. What's that thing called? And whatever, and the asana. You know, he was just a father of family, very very loving and very very simple. So simplicity, saralata, Vaishnavata. Srila Guru Purnima Maharaj was saying simplicity is Vaishnava. So Gurudev was just the label of that, was the emblem of that. So everybody was coming up and Gurudev this, Gurudev that, Gurudev this, Gurudev this, the simple way, Brijbasi way. So Brijbasis are what? Brijbasis are very, very simple and very spontaneous. So Gurudev taught us that by personal example, he applied that in his life, really. We could see so much loved. Why were Brijbasis so much loving Srila Gurudev? Because he was one of them, like one of them. Their own jata means group, means clan. So he belonged to the same clan, and he was de facto, not by how to say self-imposing, or not by imposing from above, or any of those Aishwaric means, but de facto he was the leader. I was recognized by them. So if you talk about democracy, is demon crazy, isn't it? But the democracy also exists. I mean, in Vrindavan, because the collective opinion is there. The collective opinion of Brijbasis. So they just took Gurudev as the leader unanimously, without even voting. It was just clear as the sun, you know. When the sun comes, nobody votes. Everybody takes, oh, I want to go sunbathing. I want to go for a walk. Everybody's happy. Everybody believes in the rays, because there's no way not to believe, because you're crazy if you don't believe in the rays of the sun, isn't it? So who doesn't believe in the day? Only a crazy person who thinks the day is the night, owl, you know. So those owls also existed, but even they were affected so much. They're affected by the sun, you know, with some minus reaction. But anyway, nobody became neutral. Nobody was keeping neutral. Everybody's very much enthusiastic, otherwise very much angry, demoniac. But there was definitely an open reaction everywhere. So Brijbasis were coming. I remember they were bringing the kids up, and they were bringing the gifts, and Gurudev was sitting, and Gurudev was surrounded by Brijbasis, and simultaneously Western devotees were asking questions, and as usual, Western devotees ask philosophical questions, and they're supposed to receive philosophical answers, and also answers about the mood of the whole teachings of Mahaprabhu, and serious questions. And Brijbasis are not asking serious questions, because everything is already clear, as you say in UK, sorted. Everything is sorted, isn't it? So they don't ask, they speak just about their life, you know. How's your son? Is he back from America? Gurudev asking. And they do questions, perfect answers going on. Simultaneously, devotees from the West, they're asking the perfect questions, and we're saying perfect answers. And Srila Gurudev was sitting, and simultaneously, somehow, as if taking many rupas, forms simultaneously, he was answering the sophisticated questions of the Westerners, and simultaneously talking about everyday life with the Brijbasis, you know. So, and he was holding a hand with a stack of banknotes. I don't know if 500s existed then, but I think hundreds were definitely there. Everybody was giving 100, 150, 100, 150, like this. And I noticed when I was a young devotee, just initiated Harinam, and after spending like more than 10 years, it's gone without initiation. So anyway, I was so much surprised that Gurudev, I could see he's totally detached. Like he's not considering it any value, but for himself, but for Thakurji, yes. That's why he's like Srila Swami Maharaj Prabhupada was saying, you can give me all the money of the world, I will use that for Krishna. So exemplary Yukta Vairagya. So Gurudev was like so much detached and so much dedicated also for seva. So he was sitting, and Gurudev's presence was so natural, so real, so svabhavik, like the sun. We don't go out and protest. So everybody was accepting that. Everybody was accepting, and he was answering devotees' complicated questions simultaneously, not losing track of what Brijbasis were saying. So they were going simultaneously, and the answers to devotees' questions were going in. And devotees were recording. One black box, another, Hare Krishna, please come. Another black box. So many recorders at the time, cassette, tape recorders. So one devotee is sitting on the left, a boy with cassette recorder. A girl is sitting on the right, another tape cassette recorder. Gurudev is snatching them, First one snatched under his arm, give here, and then sitting with faith, with faith into the recorder, black box. Gurudev used to say, black box will cheat you, but he's snatching that one under the other arm, Okay, the black boxes have been snatched. So what next? You have open your ears. So they're listening to the answers. And then, okay, darshan is over. Gurudev is standing up and approaching his room, and on the roof level of Krishna. No. Keshavaji Gaudiya Mathura. So coming up to his room, and then he's using one of the black boxes as the gesture, how to say, for stressing the points with the black box, like this. And then it will be like this, and like this, and like this, and Rupanuga line is like this, and like this, and like this. So you have to surrender, and then giving the devotee the black box, take it back. I don't know if you had given back the first one, but it was like this. Black box will cheat you. So that is the, how to say, red line of the Rupanuga Guru Parampara. You have to hear, listen and serve. So Srila Gurudev was like this. Our Krishna Balaram nowadays is the manifestation of that principle. It's forbidden to record. No video, no audio. Well, there's some official, so to speak, video which is keeping track of everything, but just one machine, no more machines. What Gurudev was doing, now our Shiksha Gurus are doing exactly. So no faith in black boxes. Then Gurudev was coming to our countries, European festivals, Russian festivals. Russian festivals are special lila. I think mostly I'll be telling tomorrow what, okay, I think today, because Russian festivals had special flavor. There were 6. 2 of them were in Ukraine, Odessa. Gurudev was saying Odisha. 2002, 2008, 2000, 2001 Moscow, 2002 Odessa, 2004 Volgograd, 2008 Odessa, 2010 Moscow. Last. Outside of India was last. So, yeah. So the first festival, 2000, was in the middle of the turmoil Anantaprabhu was mentioning. That the leader, great leader of the Northern European ISKCON had fallen down. And the tragedy was just immeasurable, like Hiroshima it was, basically. Everybody was dead, half dead, or escaped. Half people went to Maya immediately. quarter of the people went to some other ISKCON gurus, and quarter of the people went to Gaudiya Math or Babaji's. So half people to Maya immediately. It was very, very difficult. And Gurudev came as the savior, really the savior. Because that part, like Poland and Sweden and Northern Europe and all Russia, Ukraine, was totally devastated. It was like Hiroshima and Nagasaki, really. Or Chernobyl, anyway. So, Germany, yes. What else? Holland, probably. So, all Scandinavia, Denmark. So, Gurudev came, and I remember that first darshan. Not for one of the first, 2000. Devotees asked, one devotee actually is from Lithuania. 7 people came from Lithuania, including myself, first. And he asked, well, I want to hear from you that guru was not real. Like before, you remember, Srila Gurudeva Maharaj was saying, when he was asked, what if guru falls down? Guru is not falling down. That was his answer. The guru is the category which is absolute. So that's why when Gurudev was asked, want to hear from you, that those people were not genuine. So Gurudev said, they were not gurus, they were representatives. Because guru means darkness, ru means light, one who can dissipate darkness and give light. Yeah. Guru means heavy with knowledge. And knowledge means non-essence. Gurudev was telling us funny story in Holland 2000. Very funny story, maybe Jagatam, did you remember? Very funny story, like 2 funny stories he was telling. The first funny story about, there was a guru, but he was telling about how to milk a cow. But he had never seen a cow. And he said, in order to obtain milk, you have to mix flour with water and drink. And the first result will be, you must get sick. So all this hall is just lying down of cracking with laughter because people know what it means. Like they're laughing ironically at their former bad fate, which was with them when they were those gurus, like bulls. Shandas, Amarkas, all those kangaroos. Yes, that's Gurudev's term, definitely. Yes, Guru. Yes, I've never heard that. Good poetical Pranvala was in it. Was saying rendering is excellent. So yes, and the second story, there were some monkeys living in the jungle, and they had a leader, and the leader went one time to the jungle for meditation. And he returned without the tail. And the monkey said, why? He said, that is the process. And all the monkeys cut down their tails. Because you show, Pujapad Madhusudan Maharaj told us, like, if you want, if you start chewing a neem tree, neem leaves, they will start the same. Just start chewing neem leaves, they will do the same. So also false gurus, and all people are just cracking with laughter because they know senior devotees and they know what he's talking about. So Gurudev was so much close, like he was giving solid siddhanta. Like remember the darshan? He was giving solid siddhanta, and he was so simple. He was not even letting us think that he's so exalted. Like we knew, but he was the exemplary manifestation of commanding respect, not demanding. Commanding respect. So he was commanding everyone's respect. Dhira, dhira, priyat, priya karo. Like 6 Goswamis. Both dhira and adhira. Intelligence and non-intelligent people were respecting them. Every rickshawala was respecting Srila Gurudev because they all Srila Narayan, they knew. Because he was respecting everyone. All the shopkeepers of Sulai Bazaar, the shopkeepers especially in Mathura, his disciples, no so-called disciple anyway. So chant after me, Hare Krishna, okay, disciple. One religionist compiler of encyclopedia of online encyclopedia of religions, said that by 2002, the number of Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj's disciples was 10,000. And by 2010, his departure year, it became limitless, infinity. So he just mentioned. So he can, as we sing in that song, Glorifying Vaishnavas, can initiate all the world. Also, Gurudev was a thief of hearts, heart thief. He was born on new moon, Amavasya. And popularly, it's known that in India, that those who taken birth on new moon are thieves, will be thieves. So Srila Gurudeva was that category. He was a heart thief. He was stealing hearts. I want to put your hearts in my pocket. It was in pocket. It was so funny. Like everyone was so much mesmerized by him. Even people who are not devotees, or just children of devotees. Oh, he's so nice. He's so cute. He was speaking. And Gurudev was giving them blessings. He was just touching their heads very seriously. Have Krishna Bhakti. Have Krishna Bhakti. So the matter of time. It was the matter of time. Devotees were very desperate. Devotees were coming with problems. Gurudev was solving those problems on the spot. Oh, Gurudev, I'm alone in my country. My first darshan, 1999, after initiation. I was the first, Gaudiya Math disciple in my country, in Lithuania. First, like generally Gaudiya Math, what to speak. So I said, oh, Gurudev, no, there are so many devotees in neighboring countries. That's it. Cut down. Moscow 2001. Oh, Gurudev, I have a problem. No problem. Cut down. Just cut down. So Gurudev trained us how to not to complain. Not complain. There are 3 C's Gurudev gave. Never complain, never criticize, never stop. Chanting. 3 C's. CCC principle. Never complain, never criticize, never stop chanting.
Problems are opportunities.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So back to Russian festivals. 2000 festival was just an explosion, although very poorly organized, quite spaced out. The 3 first festivals were awfully organized. Now 2004 was really solid. 2008 was one of the best. Odessa 2008 was one of the best. Everybody was saying one of the best in all categories, in all history of Gurudev's preaching. 2010 was disastrous, like an explosion, because the fire situation. We were describing something in in Groom Bridge, but without broadcasting. So 2000, yes, Gurudev went to the Red Square. He went to the Red Square. Those famous photos. Gurudev, and the person who was at that time responsible for Russian preaching, he was saying, oh Gurudev, these are all samadhis of the leaders. Samadhis of the leaders. So he saw samadhis of Lenin, Stalin, all those people by the red wall, and then in front of the Basil the Blessed Church, we took that group photo, and well, it was very sweet, very, very sweet. So Gurudev gave all tattvas in a very solid way. He initiated about 150 devotees. There were like 250 present then. And that was in a former pioneer camp near Moscow, near Podolsk, town of Podolsk, Moscow area. So according to the old tradition, there was a statue of Lenin there. And Gurudev was walking in the morning, and he stood in front and said, oh, Lenin, my friend. And I know Russians, they can fly Sputniks. They can do that. He spoke in a very funny way. And
Lenin didn't have many friends.
Yeah. Then, well, that was the real start. And then 2001 was disastrous festival because the water disappeared in that same place. It was very poorly organized anyway. Water disappeared one time, just disappeared. And Gurudev said, either you bring back the water, I'm flying to India immediately. So he put that choice for devotees. Okay, they arranged for the water. The water was being given like 2 times a day, morning, evening, somehow. So at that time, more devotees came. 2002 was Odessa. 2002 was very nice at the Black Sea. And Gurudev said, oh, what subjects do you want me to discuss? And the organizer said, oh, maybe more basic. Maybe more basic. So he gave that famous introductory class, Love is God and God is Love. You remember that was Odessa 2002. This is a conference by the Black Sea, so very aristocratically. This is a conference by the Black Sea. You can come and ask questions. So Gurudev was walking in the mornings, but that was not the period of massive morning walks. Massive morning walks started probably 2004-05, where everyone could participate. So then 2004 was Volgograd, very nicely organized festival. But Gurudev had some trouble entering the country because the visa wasn't arranged properly. Russia is still so complicated. If not the festival ground, okay, then the visa. If not the organization, then something else. And there's that. Anyway, Volgograd is on Volga River, just in the middle of the country. It's the place where fascists stopped, and Stalingrad it was called, so they turned back. So many people were killed there. And many devotees came, and Gurudev was giving an amazing Vrajakatha. He was giving Uddhava Gita. Uddhava Samvad, conversation of Uddhava and the gopis. And was very, very deep, really, very deep. But the meeting of Srila Gurudev in Moscow airport, while he was boarding another flight to Volgograd, was quite disastrous. Gurudev was held, kept by them without any facility, practically, just for an hour or so, while devotees rushed for some papers, and okay, they finally brought the necessary papers. Gurudev was, so he was very angry with the organizers. And when he came at the festival, some devotees were just mad. It was just madness. It was already dark. It was September, and it was dark quite early, maybe 8 o'clock, 8:30. It was already dark. So Gurudev's car was approaching. There were some cars approaching. We were going completely mad with kirtan, because we were thinking that was Gurudev's car. Oh, not Gurudev's car. We saw the lights. But then finally Gurudev's car approached, and it was just explosion. It was absolutely mad kirtan. Those mad kirtans when Gurudev was very sick in 2002 in Govardhan. In Vrindavan, he came back to Govardhan. Govardhan temple had just started being built. And he returned from Delhi after heart operation. And then that was very, very big madness. Everybody wanted to touch Gurudev. But that was one thing. But Volgograd was just explosion. Gurudev, the first thing he said, Gurudev was always giving the first introductory speech, you remember, when he was coming to a new place, like 5-minute speech, then he was going to rest. So immediately when he came, he gave that introductory speech, and he said, I was thinking I will never come to this country after that reception I got in Moscow. But now I have seen several hundred ecstatic devotees, and I know I will come again. So everybody was so much. Then Volgograd received special, everywhere practically, special mercy from Gurudev. I don't want to tell that on camera, but 2004 was very special in terms of Harikatha, in terms of Srila Gurudev's mood, in terms of so many things. Gurudev was walking up and down. There was a river, different than Volga, Akhtuba River. Also former pioneer camp, very cozy, nice arrangement. Everything was very nicely organized at that time. So Prasad was very wonderful. Gurudev was pleased. So then Gurudev got sick. Actually, in the beginning of that year, 2004, Gurudev was sick. And then his activities were reduced by his sevaks. But then Gurudev was given, remember, some special therapy. So his health was going better and better. So then 2006-07, Gurudev was feeling even better, but there was no plans about Russian festival, new Russian festival. 2007 at Kartik, Gurudev never took a break. Every day he was speaking, morning and evening. Not even he was taken to Delhi for a health check like 2008. Even before he was taken for or Madhava Maj was just not letting him speak for several days. But 2007, no fail, no stop. Every day, morning and evening, there was a class. I remember that. It's very, very. Gurudev showed us punctuality, you know. So I'm just trying to follow. Gurudev showed us military discipline, completely military, because former police officer, high range. So it was discipline at every step. Yoga means discipline. All other Indians say, relax, time no problem. Indian time no problem. Time, as one Indian businessman told me, in India, time is very flexible. But Gurudev was not like that. Prabhupada was his golden watch. No, never forget about the time. Time is everything. So once, 2001, in Govardhan, temple hadn't been built yet. We were in Modi Bhavan. So Gurudev told, this afternoon, Kartik, means Kirtan, Harikatha. Harikatha, Kirtan. Either this or that. This afternoon, we will start class at 4 o'clock. We'll say 4 o'clock. Okay, I come 4 o'clock, because Gurudev said so. Okay, come 4 o'clock. But devotees were thinking, no, 4 means 4:30, means I have to relax after all, the physical body I have to take care of. Blah, blah, blah. So it came 4 o'clock. Okay, like 5 devotees sitting, starting Kirtan. Jnana Timirandasya was saying, 4:15 maybe Gurudev is coming. And Gurudev is saying 15 devotees are sitting. Maybe 15, like not more than 20 really. And he's looking at everyone, taking the mic. I was thinking that Western devotees are very punctual, but now I can see this is not so. So, by practical example, now in the big parikrama, the buses start at maybe 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and then Gurudev saying at 6 o'clock, you have to avail your buses, the old English, avail your buses. So we were just rushing, we were packing our tents, we were packing like from Govardhan to Varshana, we were going by bus, or from Mathura. So I remember, catching the bus, one of the last with my luggage, boarding them, So Gurudev taught us. Where do you think we have it from? Punctuality and everything. Yeah, it's very, okay, bus at 6 o'clock, bus is departing. If somebody was late, Gurudev was physically beating. So yes, was danda. Oh my God. I remember. Very, very, very strict and very loving, so much loving. So we knew that strictness, that punctuality, that discipline was for a purpose. Which purpose? Brijbasa mood of the Brijbasis. What Brijbasis feel in the separation of Krishna, with Krishna. Okay, so we're not thinking about a new Russian festival, but then 2007, there were talks, and finally there was a great project for a new Russian festival in 2008. So it was being prepared for a long time, heroically by Krishnadas's, Russian Krishnadas's team, for long, long months, because they were all Russians and they went to Ukraine. Odessa is Ukraine, it's a completely different legal situation and financial situation, and all situation was very, very foreign for them, and they had to speak special language with them, because, it's a special language in terms of money sometimes you have to use. So it's not so easy. But finally, they organized the festival of full dedication. Everybody was just so happy. Everything was just flowing in ecstasy, really. Although the weather was storming. September again at the Black Sea, northern part of the Black Sea, the weather was just storming, and there was torrential rain for a couple of days. Even in the, you know, the problems were in a type of hangar, like Bodegraven in Holland, if you remember that type, with metal roof. So roof started leaking, and there were drops falling on the devotees. And still Gurudev was walking every morning. Every morning he was walking, although the water level was up to your knee for some time. But Gurudev was walking down the sea. Why is the sea called black? So many questions devotees were asking. Very, very sweet. Everybody was walking with Gurudev. Gents, ladies were waiting aside at the house, and we were receiving very special darshans of Srila Gurudev in the morning. Or some more personal things I don't want to
Did you give an answer for that question?
answer to the question.
Yeah.
Why is black?
Well, actually, I mentioned something, somebody else mentioned something, then the Greeks saw it as such, and they called it black, something we tried to say. And Gurudev was looking at the geographical map. Oh, what is this river? Oh, Gurudev, this is Dnieper. Dnieper, which means Black Sea, the main river in Ukraine, one of the largest in Europe. Yeah, Europe. And so everybody concluded, oh, that festival was one of the best, really. Many devotees got initiation. There were like 650 devotees present to 700. Some were coming from the city, from Odessa. Odessa has many, like Ukraine has many Gaudiya mats, like very great bouquet of all types of Gaudiya mats, and like Gaudiya Vaishnavas, very many in that country. They're soft-hearted. And so they were coming. And then finally, the last festival, absolutely last festival of Gurudev outside of India, Moscow 2010. So after coming from Italy to India, Gurudev became a bit sick. But then Guru Purnima was organized in 4 places, Vrindavan, Govardhan, Mathura and Delhi. Then we were feeling that Gurudev is becoming more internal. But we were feeling, but probably not sharing, not concluding anything, because it was very much unlikely for us. We couldn't believe that Gurudev was really preparing himself for entering Nitya Lila. So in Italy, as you remember, Madhava Maharaj was with mic in hand and he was prompting Gurudev every 5th English word. He was forgetting English words. And then when he was giving initiations, he was still explaining mantras. In Moscow, he was not explaining mantras already. He was so sick. We had to do Shamaranditi for ladies, myself for the gents. So then the situation around Moscow was very critical because there was forest fires alarm. There was an official alarm situation introduced. About 60 fires broke up in a single day. All the air was filled with smoke everywhere in the city. Was just smoke, really actual smoke, because the tough bogs were tough ground with tough grounds were burning everywhere. Yeah. So special fire brigades were closing up many festival projects all over the Moscow area, and also certainly our best friends FSB were not sleeping. So actually that festival grounds we found, festival venue we found, had to be renovated. So on that condition they gave us a good price. So we were actually renovating the festival site for a few months, maybe 3 months, dyeing everything, painting, setting up, wallpaper, everything we were doing, and even planting flowers and things. And it was a good area, west side of Moscow area, the pond. But then one phone call, as it's often in Russia, one phone call decided everything. get Hare Krishnas out of there. You know, so that's one phone call. You know, but that was, I think, the actual reason. But the official reason was the fire commission came and said, "Oh, you don't meet those and those conditions." It was also true. Those conditions are not met in this situation. So the whole festival set was sealed up, and devotees had come also from the west, and my stuff was also sealed up there. But I spoke some special words, you know, magic words, so I was allowed to take out my stuff out of the sealed room through the window. You know, so I had managed to do it. So it was complete chaos. Devotees were driven in a bus to the police for document checkup, and some managed not to go on that bus, and some managed to stay up in the tents at the festival grounds. So what to do? Moscow Preaching Center, which is a tiny flat, became like a refugee camp. Devotees were sleeping on the walls. Have you ever tried to sleep on the wall? Devotees were sleeping on the walls, literally. Shudvaiti Maharaj was telling everyone, festival is cancelled, turn back, go back. It was not cancelled actually, because Gurudev had called from the Emirates. He was in Dubai on the way to Moscow from India. And he said, you have the place, you don't have the place, I'm coming. So he was determined. And we were waiting for him, really. So, well, no, don't turn back, Gurudev is coming. So we organized some intermediary program, like alternative programs at the great hotel complex Izmailova, next to which temple is situated, like 1 metro station away. And the Izmailovsky Park, the biggest park in Europe, is there. So right next to that park, there's a huge Izmailova complex, which looks like Las Vegas, somebody said. So in those halls, we organized some programs with sannyasis. Damodar Maharaj, Shudvaiti Maharaj, Nemi Maharaj, those who were there, Padmanabh Maharaj. So devotees were, okay, heating up, and some devotees went back already, unfortunately. So as a result, instead of 800, we had 550. But anyway, because all by pure miracle, by complete pure miracle, we got that ethno-world, ethnomir, you know, ethno-world ethnic camp, 100 kilometers from Moscow, a bit far away. But anyway, we got just by pure miracle with a good concession, 3 times cheaper as it would normally be from the organizers. So some devotees were so broken-hearted. There were wigwams and what's that called? Yurtas. Yurts. Devotees were living in wigwams and yurts without ceiling. But this was not raining. It was so hot, the weather was 40 degrees in the daytime, 25 in the morning. So it was very, very drastic. And so devotees were there, and some devotees were, we don't want to live in the yurts, we're not Kalmykians. You know, Kalmykians was one type of nation that live in yurts. Used to live in. So I talked to the devotees, oh, please stay, please, I'm begging you, please stay. You know, so. And Gurudev came finally. The festival started without Gurudev's participation because he was flying only for 4 days, 3 days actually, 3 days. And the festival was 7. So devotees were arriving and we were singing completely mad kirtans in that pandal of Ethnomir, Ethno-world. So then Gurudev finally came and the smoke disappeared that very morning. Gurudev's plane was the last to land before Domodedovo airport was closed because of the fire situation. So I could see Samsara Davanala, Lidaloka, Tranaya Karunya, Ganaganat, Praptasya Kalina, Gunarnavasi, Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam. Here's the transcendental fireman. He came with the transcendental Amrita hose to extinguish it.
Blazing fire.
Yeah, the blazing fire. That's it. That was the blazing fire. So you imagine, during that festival, we were all reincarnated or resurrected, or you can say, like, we were in different bodies, like in different condition, really. Like, I remember myself was just completely different. We were all different. Like, we were, how to say, we came throughout space, and through the highest danger, you know, but not having Gurudev at the festival. that was highest danger, but by his mercy we came through. So we met Gurudeva at the respirator at the airport. Respirator, and Brajanath was on my case. Why did you bring the car without lying facility? We had to lie Gurudev down. We brought the ordinary car. Stupid. Anyway, so somebody arranged for Gurudev to stay overnight in a decent hotel with good air, not bringing him directly to the festival site in the evening. So the following morning Gurudev came. I think it was 11th of August, I think. 11, 12, 13. No. 10, 11, 12. Gurudev was in there. 10, no, 9, 12, 9, 10, 11. August. Gurudev was in the festival site. And he came. It was complete eruption, of emotions. Devotees were completely mad kirtan. And then Gurudev said, the pavilion, Gurudev's house, was in Ukrainian style, was made in Ukrainian style. So there were sections like, okay, this is Ukrainian, this is some other. So the traditional Ukrainian hut with windows and patterns and hay roof. So Gurudev was staying there. And first he was sitting at the entrance, and they gave me the mic to sing Shri Guru Charana Padma. So that was something completely unforgettable. But Gurudev asked 2 questions. How many kilometers from Moscow? I said, 100. Oh, so far away. But he smiled and said, but no smoking. There was no smoke. Smoke disappeared. So in the evening on the first day, Gurudev was brought to the pandal, and that was a great mistake because the temperature was 40 degrees. It was sunny. And Gurudev was sitting on stage, he was just like this. And the first things he said was, why have you brought me here? Why didn't you find another place? You couldn't find another place. So Gurudev was speaking very short, 15 minutes. He couldn't speak more. And the following morning, Gurudev was brought in the morning to the pandal, 6 o'clock, because the temperature was 25. So it was cool, and Gurudev spoke Bhagavatam Katha. And the third morning he spoke about the mood of the Yagya Patnis, the wives of ritualistic brahmanas. Gurudev was always master of giving synopsis of the most important points in shortest time. Like Gurudev was very sick. 2006, Gurudev was not able to participate in his Vyasa Puja, first time in history. He was not able to fly to Hawaii from Houston, so he stayed back in Houston. And from Houston, with very weak voice, he was speaking on Vyasa Puja day. And devotees were listening, broken-hearted, but listening. And in 15 minutes, even less, he spoke most important things. Points, very important points. So he said then that the mood of Yagyapatnis is like a shadow of the mood of the gopis, because Krishna told them to go back to their husbands, and they obeyed. But Braja gopis, they refused. They said, you are our guru. So the mood of the Yagyapatnis is like a shadow. So Gurudev made that point. And then we were staying with Srila Gurudev for 2.5 days in a house in an undisclosed location in Moscow area in Odintsovo. Somebody's place, some of the devotees' relatives' place. So nobody knew what Gurudev was. Nobody knew. And we were 8 of us staying with Guru Madhumar, Brajanath, organizers, some other people. So 8, Brajanath Vrinda. So on the first morning, Gurudev didn't go for a walk. Finally, the rain came. Finally, it was raining. The fire situation was such that we were not allowed to go to the forest, because only when you have a dog, you're allowed to walk in the forest nearby. So Gurudev was walking just around, and Gurudev was seated on the swing. Brajanath was swinging him like this. So the last morning, 14th, Gurudev was walking for the last time. And on the 13th, it was not possible to find the place. The position was undisclosed. But one lady devotee, somehow or other, came to, how to say, she learned about the position of the place, location of the place, and she brought 10 people, 10 completely new people for a darshan. Anyway, they came, they broke through, it was guarded, you know, like a special type of settlement, for like elite settlement, with guards, you know, they don't allow anyone. Everybody's saying hello to each other like the West, like rich people, they can. So Gurudev, they came, 10 completely new people. She wanted them to get initiated, but they were all non-veg. So Mother Maharaj said, okay, next time. But one of them asked how to be happy, and Gurudev explained. And then one lady asked a question, disciple, asked the question, oh Gurudev, we're supposed to develop more the mood of attachment to Radharani, but I want more attachment for Krishna. Because she was thinking I'm a lady, you know. Anyway, she was thinking a bit of feminist type of. Anyway, so then Gurudev very seriously explained what he was explaining during Gayatri Mantra initiation. He explained about Kama Gayatri, and that is on tape. It was recorded. Very valuable. I still have that recording. So really explained about Gayatri Mantra, word for word, practically. Because many times I had to translate, so more or less we remember what Gurudev was saying. So he really explained to that not very intelligent lady about the attachment to Radharani, also Radha and Krishna both. So it was very, very amazing. And then finally, last darshan of Srila Gurudeva in the airport, 14th of August 2010. Last time outside of India and last time also on Russian land. About 100 devotees came. All sannyasis were out, so I was the only one. And then also very special mercy from Gurudev. That time devotees were asking questions about the same actually. Oh, how to follow you? All those classical questions, like one is sannyasi called them, how can we questions? How can we do that? How can we serve? How can we surrender? How, like this. So basically there were how can we questions. And the answer to how can we question is just one. Just do it. So Gurudev was answering, so he was telling just one thing, read my books. Everything is in my books. It's not that today I will tell you something new. I told everything in class. You remember that standard answer by Gurudev? I told everything in class. So he was saying, told everything in class is not that everything, you know, I'll tell you something new. And those devotees went, then okay, devotees are sitting. All questions are answered by one answer. So silence ensued like for a couple of seconds. So then I was trying to introduce all devotees who were participating in the festival. They're real heroes, all real heroes, those organizers of Moscow 2010, all of them. So many devotees came, Gangamatas came, Chinese came, 2010.
You said 2010 was a flop.
No, flop in terms that we were deprived of the place.
Oh, yeah,
but we got another place by miracle.
Right. Yeah,
it was a great danger, you know, but we, yeah, Gurudev told also I'm coming anyway, okay. So that was like half. 2003 it was closed. It never happened. That's why instead of Moscow, everybody went to Berlin.
When was last?
Last 2010, August. I'm talking about.
Right.
So at the end, Gurudev stood up and went into VIP lounge. So nobody was allowed there. Only a few people was amongst them. So we started singing. And the policeman came and security came very, very politely, like now in Russia, everything very polite. So they were smiling. He was looking like an angel, that security guy, really smiling. So, you know, we understand, but if you could kindly be a bit like, okay. So, and Gurudev went through security and went down to VIP lounge. Some devotees were late because it was a working day and the flight was like maybe 6 o'clock, so they were just coming from work. And somehow or other they were getting into VIP, they were talking some magic mantras to security and they were allowing them in. Russians still have very deep sense of religiosity, sense of holy, how to say, people they respect. So they are holy men, okay, so they were allowing. So those devotees who were late, they had a special chance to sit with Gurudev in VIP. And Brajanath then brought another armchair for Gurudev because he was sitting in one and he extended his legs onto the other one. So maybe for 20 minutes we sat there until there was announcement for boarding. So Gurudev went for boarding and that was it. I have that photo of Gurudev's last waving. It's the last waving. Outside of India, the end of the last darshan, last boarding, last waving. So then sickness Leela started immediately after he landed in Delhi. He was taken to hospital immediately. Was health check. And then all sickness Leela, disappearance Leela happened. When the news came that Gurudev is having that disease, nobody could believe, so everybody was in turmoil. And then that booklet was done, How to Understand Sri Guru, because devotees were not understanding the situation. Why Gurudev is sick? He's supposed to be free from all types of karmic or anything. So that booklet was made specially, How to Understand Gurudev. So Srila Gurudev taught us how to serve by his own example. He was making leaders. Somebody was coming and saying, oh, Gurudev, that devotee wants to preach, that devotee wants to organize. Gurudev was saying, does he know Siddhanta? Do you know Siddhanta? Gurudev was training us how to learn Siddhanta. You should regularly meet in the first Lithuanian darshan, 2000 Moscow. You should regularly meet and discuss all the established truths, tattvas, Guru Tattva, Nityananda Tattva, Gaura Tattva, Bhakti Tattva, Maya Tattva, Krishna Tattva, Radha Tattva, Prema Tattva. And you write me email, there was no Facebook. Write me emails. How are you doing? So that was the system. I was writing Gurudev.
Imagine writing that on Facebook.
Yeah. There was a period of Gmail groups. No was Gmail. No Gmail. It was Yahoo.
Yeah.
Beginning of
Hotmail.
Yeah, Hotmail, Yahoo, yes. Then Gmail came, 2003 maybe. So anyway, what to say? The ocean of Srila Gurudev's glories we're remembering. I was so happy today to be with you. And tomorrow, second episode, part 2, will follow in Bushi, near Watford. So most welcome. We can give you the address just after class of the place for tomorrow. There's actually a clinic, and some doctor invited us, so we'll be there in Bushi, Watford area. And you're most welcome, everyone. And I'm very, very grateful to Sundarananda Prabhuji and all the devotees here who were coming yesterday and today. That was, how to say, not the final, but the final of the programs in London City. London City is rich in Hare Krishna traditions. Berry Place and Soho Street and Zamana and George Harrison and the Beatles and Prabhupada walking down the streets of London. So this city is especially blessed, although Prabhupada was saying the truth about this city. Oh, Gurudev, Prabhupada, how is the hell like? Oh, it's like London. So you have the special privilege of being the example in the eyes of a great Acharya. How it looks like. But anyway, so very, very happy also that in all this great demoniac city, a place where devotees can share Harikatha and can, with bright faces, sing kirtan and express the heart's moods is there, so we're very happy. Srila Gurudeva ki jai. Thank you so much. So, if you want to add anything, I was very happy also that Jagadam Didi came. The senior devotees, Lalaji and all others. And if somebody wants to add something or ask something, most welcome. Otherwise, we'll sing Arati very soon. Take prasad.
I've got something to add.
Yes, please.
It's a dreadful business, really, that I should add this, because I'd forgotten I'd actually seen Maharaj twice. I haven't actually seen him personally, but I've been into meetings twice with him. Once in Birmingham.
Mm-hmm.
That was a fairly official sort of meeting. All the sannyasis had to stand up and they had to answer questions, and he was very, very like this with them.
Mm-hmm.
And then once at Conway Hall in London, and I was so impressed. That was the first time I saw him, because he had all of his, I put it like his chickens all around him, all his little ladies, they were all around him, and it's as if he had his arms all the way around. It was beautiful. It was really beautiful. But I'm sorry, I've forgotten it. I don't know what's happened to my memory. It's a bit of a worry.
You saw him.
Yeah.
That's very wonderful. Conway Hall. Yeah, very true. How to say? Historical place. Srila Prabhupada used to be there.
Yeah.
Conway Hall. Were you there at the time? You were.
I think I was. Yeah.
72, 70 something.
What was it?
Conway Hall was very early.
Was
Before the manor.
No, I'm just asking about the year.
I'm not sure. Was it before 75?
Before 75.
It was early.
But I was there when Gurudeva was there.
Thank you so much. Srila Gurudeva ki
Jai.
Nitai Gaur Premanande.
Jai.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Together. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Nitai Gora Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Nitai Gora Hari Bo, Nitai Gora Hari Bo, Hari Nitai Gora Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Nitai Gora Hari Bo, Nitai Gora Hari Bo. Nitai Gaur Premanande, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Jai Ho. Thank you so much. Now we'll sing Arati. All right.